What's up everybody? So we're back out in the shop with another daily vlog, and guys, we're going to be working on this little scrap piece of rasp right here. Now, I went on my Facebook group and I asked them, what would y'all rather me do with this? Make a kiradashi or make an EDC scalpel? And everyone said, make it EDC scalpel. So that's what we're going to work on. I know it already looks like a kiradashi. That would have been the easy route to go. We're going to turn it into an EDC scalpel, and guys, I'm not going to draw anything out. I'm not going to have a plan going into this. We're going to get on the grinder and we're just going to turn this into something. I'm going to take y'all along for the ride, so hopefully y'all enjoy that. Let's hop into it. Let's get this knocked out. Well guys, I decided that I'm not going to talk a ton during this video. I'm going to let y'all enjoy some of that banjo music that some of y'all like and some of y'all hate. But for this part, I did decide, you know, I didn't want to go into this with a plan. I just kind of wanted to let the steel show me what it wanted to do and how it feels in the hand to really decide how I'm going to shape this and what I'm going to do with it. I did decide though, after feeling it in the hand, that it really needed a finger choil, so that's what we're doing right now. We are putting a finger choil in it, and a lot of this stuff I'm just kind of winging because I've never made a scalpel before. This will be the first one, and I'm definitely happy with the end result that we got. Definitely like the way this is turning out. It feels really good in the hand. And then just like all my other knives, we're going to go ahead and use the big black Sharpie, mark the edge, and then scribe that center line with this little block that I have. And then we will be using the bevel jig during this video to set the primary bevels. Now I am taking my time during this part because I want to make sure that we don't overheat the steel. I am not reheat treating this, I'm not tempering it. I am going to use the heat process from grinding on this to actually temper the steel, as opposed to having to use the oven later, because after I do this whole process, if I was to temper it in the oven, it would actually make it too soft, and we don't want that to happen. And I'll talk more about that later. Now the bevels are done. We're going to go ahead and get inside this finger choil with this oscillating spindle sander on one of the smaller drums. And then we're going to go into the larger drum and start smoothing out the edges all the way around it. Now what we're doing here is we're actually using a 100 grit belt, and we are just smoothing the side of the rasp itself so that we get any of the scratches from the previous grits out of it and give a nice polished side. I'm going to do this on both sides. I'm going to do the other side off camera, so just so y'all know, we did this twice. Now it's time to take that hard plunge line and actually smooth it back a little bit, because I wanted a more sweeping plunge line. But what I'm doing is I'm overhanging the belt about 1/4 of an inch off the edge of the platen, and I'm just slowly working that plunge line out to where you'll see later in the video how smooth and how far back it comes. It's a very gradual plunge line. And this part is a little time consuming because you want to take your time and be gentle with it. You don't want to put too much pressure or end up messing up your bevels. Love the way that looks. Now that we did it with that belt, we are moving on to the Scotch-Brite belt. Now this one right here is a new medium belt, and it took out a lot of the scratches but gave me a good satin finish on the blade. I have more of a polished finish on the sides, but this did give me a nice good satin finish on the blade itself. And right now we're just smoothing the edges to make them to where they're not as hard or sharp. We're going to go ahead and use a medium wheel with the gray compound. Now it's time to go ahead and put an edge on it, and we're doing the 1000 grit, and that's it. I'm using just a 1000 grit belt because I've already had the edge so fine that this is all I needed. All I needed to do was do the 1000 grit belt and then the stropping belt. So that's what we're doing right now. We got a nice burr. You can see the glint on the edge right there. So now it's time to go ahead and leather strop this thing. And I only needed a few passes. It actually stropped real quick. And this thing is very sharp. Almost no pressure there to actually shave all of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and wrap up today's daily vlog. Is this thing sharp? Do you think that something like that is sharp? I mean, it is ridiculously sharp. I mean, it's cutting slivers off of that. Love the way this turned out. I mean, definitely an awesome looking scalpel. And who would have thought that a Rasp would have this outcome? I mean, I left the actual file area right there so that it has some jimping on the back. Feels great in the hand. I did a real sweeping plunge line right here. So there's no hard plunge line. Man, I just love the way this turned out. And think about it. This was a scrap piece of a scrap piece. So I had a scrap piece. I cut that out to make one of the knives that's on my little magnetic strip right here. This was the scrap of the scrap. Most people would have just thrown this little sliver away, not thinking you were going to make anything out of it. It turned into that. So hopefully y'all take the time and actually look at the things that you have and go, man, can I turn that into a knife? I could probably turn that into a knife. And just see if you can. I mean, the cool thing is we were able to do this as easy as possible. I didn't even have to temper this because I brought it up to that straw kohler a few times whenever I was actually doing the shaping of it and all that, actually doing the bevels, doing everything that I was doing. So it tempered itself just with working it, and it's perfect now. I don't have to do anything else to it. This is it. All I gotta do is make a sheath for it, so we're gonna be doing that here within the next video. Guys, I wanted to tell y'all one thing. The channel has a P.O. box now, so if you want to send stuff to it, you can. I'll end up doing some like mail time type things during the Shop Talk Tuesdays, stuff that y'all send me, and talk about those things. But I want to make sure y'all understand something. That does not mean send me a bunch of files with the assumption that I'm just going to start making heirloom knives and stuff like that. If you want me to make something out of something that you send me, you need to talk to me about it in an email first, or it's just going to be my thing. So don't send me anything with a letter saying, hey, can you turn this into something? You need to tell me about it beforehand. Send me an email so that we can agree to it. But if you're just going to send me something just for the sake of sending me something, send it to that P.O. box. I'll have it in the description below, and I will definitely give shout outs for everybody who sends me stuff and talk about that stuff in the Shop Talk Tuesdays. Guys, thank y'all for coming by and checking this video out. If you would, give this video a thumbs up. Share this video or a video I've done in the past that might be your favorite. And if you have not yet, bottom corner, let's scalpel that subscribe button right there. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified of when we do the sheath for this, plus some of these other awesome builds. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for checking this out. Guys, stay safe. Have an amazing day. I'll catch y'all next time.